swear or affirm the testimony shall give in this case to be the truth and whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please have a seat in the witness stand and state your full name for the record, and please spell your last name.
Amy Durso, D-U-R-S-O.
Dr. Durso, where are you employed?
I'm currently employed by the Medical University of South Carolina as a forensic pathologist.
What is forensic pathology?
So forensic pathologists are medical doctors. We go through medical school and we go through pathology training, but we're specifically trained to do autopsies, so to look at bodies after death, to determine the cause and manner of death, and also we're educated about patterns of injuries and different mechanisms of death.
Okay. You perform autopsies on people who have passed away to determine cause and manner of death, is what you testified to?
Yes.
Approximately how many autopsies have you done?
I'm up over 4,000.
And you are a medical doctor?
Yes, I have a medical degree.
And how many times do you think you've been qualified as an expert?
Your Honor, I have no objection with your expertise, none whatsoever.
All right, I find that expert testimony is necessary to assist the jury in resolving factual questions. Dr. Durso is qualified in the area of forensic pathology. The methodology and testimony is reliable, ladies and gentlemen. The same applies to what I told you earlier. Dr. Durso has been qualified as an expert in the area of forensic pathology, and you can accept her testimony and opinion and give it whatever way you deem necessary during your deliberation. Mr. Scott.
Thank you. Dr. Durso, did you have occasion to perform an autopsy on Cyrus Carmack-Belton on May 29th of 2023?
Yes.
Okay. Let me start with a couple of questions. What do your notes show that Mr. Belton, what was his weight?
Mr. Belton weighed 114 pounds.
Okay. And it looks like he was about 5'6". Does that sound right?
I have him as 5'8", but
68 inches in your,
yeah.
okay. 5'8", 114 pounds.
Yes.
And his listed age?
Is 14 years old.
Okay. Initially, when you examine a body, what is the first thing you do?
So the coroner's office identifies the body, brings it out, and then we look at the outside of the body and we notate everything, eye color, hair color, scars, tattoos, any injuries, height, weight, post-mortem changes, and after we complete that, we start opening the body and looking at all the internal organs.
Okay. Initially, what were your observations before you began dissection?
The most notable finding was a gunshot wound entering his right back.
Okay. What about other superficial type wounds?
There was a partially healed injury on his right hand, and there were some abrasions on his right lower leg.
I want to show you stays 77. Does that accurately reflect any abrasions on his leg?
Yes.
Okay. And did these appear to be recent wounds?
Yes.
Okay. The location of the wound on his back, say that one more time.
It was on his kind of right back area, just below kind of mid-back.
Okay. And that states 80. Does that fairly and accurately represent what you yourself witnessed?
Yes.
Okay. I want to show you what's been introduced to state 79. Do you recognize that?
Yes. This is a photo of one of the x-rays we took before we started the autopsies. So before we do autopsies on gunshot wounds, we x-ray the body to make sure we know where the bullet is, if there's a bullet in them, to make sure we recover that so we can hand it over to law enforcement. He's on his side.
Okay, I was about to say, so where his head would be to the right of the screen?
Yes, his head's to the right, his legs are to the left.
Okay, yeah, and his I guess his buttocks would be at the bottom left corner there.
Correct.
Okay.
And he's kind of boosted up on a body block so we can shoot across the table.
And, okay.
Dr. Durso, what is this object right here that we're seeing in stage 79?
That's the projectile we recovered from the body at autopsy.
Okay. And this is just another, this is an angle, different angle, but this is stage 8. Do you recognize that?
Yes, that's upside down. But this is an X-ray going front to back of the body, again showing where the projectile is located. So it's just left of midline, as you can see.
83 is not in yonder, but we're all from stage 83 for admission now.
No objection.
Already been moved to stage 83.
Okay, this is a little, in stage 83 again, this is what?
That's the projectile, and you can see the shadow of his heart just above that.
This is his heart?
Yes.
Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, but his head would be, this is basically looking at his head being up, his feet
Correct.
being down. I even see, I think, an arm right here.
Yes.
Okay.
What were your general findings as far as the bullet wound? Did it have an exit?
It did not exit, no.
Okay. Let me show you, it hasn't been introduced yet, but do you often, or I guess rather, probably all the time, do you draft something like that when you do an autopsy?
Yes, so we have a stack of blank male, female, all sorts of diagrams that we take notes on when we do the autopsy. And then I kind of do my report based on some of the notes I take on there.
Okay. And this is not scale, right? Is it? This is just kind of.
No, it's a generic male diagram.
Okay. You're on the state off for stage 73 for admission.
No objection.
That'd be moved to stage 73 without objection.
What were your general findings as far as the? We already said it didn't have an exit wound, but the bullet wound that was found in his back, you said it was his right lower back?
Right, so it's the right lower back. It was just under 2 inches right of midline, 46.5 inches above the heel. It was a classic entrance wound. So entrance wounds have what we call an abrasion collar. So as the bullet enters the skin, it kind of rubs the edge of the skin and drags it for a split second on the way in. So that's a typical entrance wound, which this had. The other things we look for when we're looking at bullet wounds in autopsy is we look for soot and stippling, because that's going to kind of tell us if there's a clue as to how close the shooter was when they were shot. So if there's soot like in the wound, that's usually a contact wound. If there's soot more on the skin around the wound, that means the gun was usually within 6 inches. If there's stippling, which is actually the gunpowder that comes out of the end of the gun and has tiny little abrasions on the skin surrounding it, that's usually within around 18 to 24 inches. The exceptions to those, of course, if it goes through like an intermediate object like a car door or a wall of some kind, and also very thick clothing can block those things. On this case, I did not see any soot or stippling, so this is what I call indeterminate range, meaning I don't know if it's 2 feet away or 20 feet away.
Okay. So no indication of sooting or stippling. So
And then, so after we track the bullet, it comes in, it goes through, it kind of hits the 11th rib, so we have 12 ribs, so just above the bottom rib. It hits part of the rib and part of the T11 vertebrae, so the 11th vertebrae going down the thoracic vertebrae there. It then goes through the right lower lobe of the lung, and then it goes through the right ventricle of the heart. So this is the most deadly thing that happened, is that it goes through his heart. That's not a survivable wound. It then goes and after it goes through the heart, it hits the inside of his rib cage. We're actually able to see when we remove the front of his rib cage where the bullet impacted. So it was actually a little higher up than where the bullet's found. So the bullet, because of the way it kind of mushroomed, got caught on the pericardial sac, which is the soft tissue sac that surrounds the heart. So it kind of pulled it back down, but it actually impacted further up and to the left.
Would it have been immediately fatal, or would you expect to see somebody live for some time period after this?
So it's not immediately fatal. Those are more, and he would not lose consciousness immediately. Those are more with wounds to the head. So with a heart wound, maybe a minute or two, he could have. There's been reports of people being able to run with the adrenaline in their system, but not far. They collapse pretty quickly because the blood, every heartbeat is the blood's coming out of their heart and not circulating.
What is it that kills you? Is it
The blood loss. So instead of the blood circulating in your vessels and going to provide oxygen and energy to your cells, such as your heart, brain, vital organs, the blood is accumulating in his chest.
Tell me about midline is his backbone. Is that?
Yes.
How far from midline, left to right, was the wound?
The entrance wound was 1 3/4 inches right of midline.
And as far as the trajectory, was it? I guess assume back to front. There's no exit, and the hole's in his back.
Correct. So it's back to front. It was going a bit upwards, and it's going just slightly right to left. So it goes from just right of midline to just left of midline.
Okay. Let me, with court's permission, can Dr. Durso step down for a minute?
Sure.
Show me kind of on my back, just use me as a model, where would that entrance room be?
So if we go mid-back, just underneath that, just right at midline, I would say approximately in this location here.
Okay. You can figure, show the jury.
I would say right around here.
Hold on. Small shirt.
Okay. You want me to draw on you?
Show me where it is.
Okay. Never drawn on an attorney before.
Okay. And the trajectory was upward, you say?
Yes.
Okay. Show me with an X on the front of me where. Would it be on this side or this side?
It's going to be on the right side.
Okay. And do you need any notes or do you?
Turn around again. Oh, the left side, sorry. The left. Okay, so left, and it's, can I feel the bottom of your sternum? So it would be approximately here-ish.
Okay. Now with this rod, stand at the side. Show during my profile generally where that would be, how that would look going into Mr. Carmack-Belton's body.
Let's say it like this. If he was standing straight up.
Okay.
The problem is, like my diagram, everyone's standing in anatomical position. No one is ever really standing in anatomical position when they get shot. So.
Well, I got one more. Judge, you've seen my toy gun. It's not a workable gun. It's you've seen this too, Dr. Durso.
I have, yes.
If you're in a shooter's stance, if that was testified to, okay?
Okay.
Stand with the jury, or they can see you, and I'm over here.
Do you want me to put this down?
Yeah. Would you expect to see that trajectory if you're in the shooter's stance and you're behind me and I'm upright?
So a lot of times we get people, if someone is behind you with a gun. In general, someone's not going to stand there a lot of times. We have upward trajectories from people bending over.
Okay. The victim bending over, you mean?
Yes.
Let's just for argument's sake, you're the shooter and you're in a standard gunman stance. I am upright. Would you expect to see the trajectory that you observed on Mr. Belton?
No, so either the shooter would have had to be below you shooting upwards, or the victim would have had to be at an angle downwards, or he would have been uphill. There's a few different variables, but generally not straight if we're on flat ground and I'm directly behind you.
Testimony is we're on flat ground.
Okay,
Okay, and you're standing upright in a shooter stance.
got it.
Would you expect this trajectory if I'm hunched over running from you?
Yes, that would make more sense.
Okay. Now, would you expect this trajectory if I was turned in any way like this?
Not from right behind you, no.
Okay. But you would expect this trajectory, would it be consistent with somebody running away in a runner's stance with their back directly towards you?
Yes, if I fired the weapon from here with you in that stance,
Okay.
especially with you just twisted just a tiny bit, that would be consistent.
Now, if I'm for some reason turning around aiming at you, like I'm doing now,
Yes.
is it possible to have this trajectory?
No.
Thank you, Dr. Durso. In your expert opinion, were you able to determine the cause of death?
Yes.
Okay. What was the cause of death?
The cause of death was a gunshot wound to the torso.
In your expert opinion, were you able to determine a manner of death?
This is considered a homicide.
Dr. Durso, I think that's all the questions I have for you. I promise it was on the shirt.
Okay, I hope so. Sharpie. It will not wash out.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Nothing further.
Ross.
Dr. Durso, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I don't think we've ever met.
I have not met you before, no.
Let's go through a couple of things. One, my name is Sean Kent. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And under no circumstance am I going to let you draw on me. I can promise you that.
I'm good with that.
Okay, I can promise you that will not happen.
That's great.
Dr. Durso, I just want to go through some of your testimony to make sure that I understand that everything that you've
course.
said. And of course, I have no challenge to your expertise whatsoever. And so please don't take offense to any of my questions. And if I am wrong, feel free to correct me. Is that a fair statement?
Fair enough.
And you do not have anyone to reward, anyone to punish. We consider you a neutral witness. Is that fair? You don't work for the solicitors.
Oh, correct. No. I'm just here to explain the autopsy findings and what it means, and that's it. I do not take sides.
And I'm definitely not going to disrespect or ask you how much you make or anything of that nature. That's completely improper, but you work for a living, correct? You work for the Medical University of South Carolina?
Yes.
And how long have you been there?
Well, I've only worked directly under them for about a year now. For 15 years before that, I worked for a private group of pathologists, and they just bought our practice. So I'm doing the same job for 16 years, but with MUSC for only a year now.
And doctor, as we talk about things, you are a doctor. You are, I say correctly because that is a rude phrase, but they want to make sure that they can look at it, challenge it, and see if it's done a consistent way.
Yes.
Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, there are specific standards that are utilized in doing autopsies.
Yes.
And that comes from the forensic autopsy performance standards.
Yes.
Are you familiar with those?
Yes.
And we utilize those to make sure that if somebody else is looking at the work that we've ever done, that we can have a standard so not necessarily can challenge, so they can make sure. Well, tell me why you have standards. Tell me the point.
Just so we don't have people making stuff up and creating havoc.
And we want to endeavor to make sure that if we utilize and follow the standards at all times, that's when we know things are done exactly correctly.
Yes.
What happens when we don't follow standards? Is that a problem?
I'm not sure what you're getting at, to be honest.
It's just a
with you.
question. Do you know, I mean, well, how about let's make this, looking at the picture of the autopsy, do we believe that all standards were followed properly?
I believe I did.
Okay. When we're looking at the human body, I think you mentioned that we take it from the anatomical position.
Correct.
We take the height of the individual.
Yes.
Because we want to be very specific.
Yes.
And then we measure where the wound is, the defect, I think some call it, but wherever the wound is.
Yes.
We measure it exactly because we want to have very precise measurements.
Correct.
And then in this situation, we are very specific that the wound path in this situation is back to front, and because we can tell that, because we can tell the entry wound.
Correct.
And it's going front, back to front, and it's going, I think you mentioned right to left,
Yes.
and it's going slightly up.
Yes.
Now, first I want to deal with the word slightly. In my research and looking and talking to other doctors, they had mentioned that that's generally not a word that we utilize when dealing with autopsy because we want specificity. Is that a fair statement?
I use it, and so do my colleagues.
But with a word like slightly, that's not a question where we can get a specific what numbers that we are dealing with.
I guess not, no.
Okay. And without having a specific, using a word like slightly, slightly on a small human being could be different than slightly on a large human being.
Yes.
And when we're dealing with standards and making sure we can make a point of what has happened, it makes it almost impossible for another doctor, another pathologist to look at our work and say, what does slightly mean? Would you
Well, that's
agree?
why we take photos.
And that's the next thing I wanted to get into. That's why we take photos.
Correct.
And when we take photographs in situations, we don't just take photos, we follow the standards to make sure it's done the exact same way. Correct?
Okay.
And you're familiar with the forensic autopsy standards? Are you familiar with them?
Yes.
Okay. And are you aware that utilizing the forensic autopsy standards, there are specific things that we are supposed to do when we take pictures of injuries?
I'm not the one taking photographs.
But you would agree with me there's some specifics that we're supposed to have in dealing with an autopsy.
What are you saying we were missing?
I'm asking, are you aware of
Because
that?
I can see what.
Done. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Now, what are we supposed to do when we take pictures of injuries?
I don't understand what you're.
And it
getting
looks like
at.
I am completely on the wrong. No, yeah. In section E2, it talks about what happens when we have injuries. Would you
Okay.
agree with me?
Yes.
Okay. And just generically, what are we supposed to do when we take pictures of injuries?
This isn't saying pictures, it's describing.
Okay. But what are we supposed to do?
It says describe an injury by type, location, size, shape, pattern, and color.
Okay, and if we turn to page 15, that is where our industry standards talk about photographic documentation of injuries. Are you familiar with that section in the standards?
Yes.
And if we go to the forensic pathologist or representative shall, there's E3.1 and E3.2. What does E3.2 require us to do?
It says photograph major injuries with a scale.
Did we do that in this situation?
The sheriff's department or police department is the one that does that. And typically they do. I do not supervise them directly.
Do we have a picture of any of the injuries with the scale?
There should be some.
We haven't testified or seen any of that yet.
Yeah, Mr. Kent, going down a road you might not want to go.
May we approach?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And doctor, I think I understand what you were saying, that you did not take the pictures, these pictures that we have.
Correct.
And if you would have taken the pictures, you would have had a scale next to the pictures as required by the industry standards.
Right. So the sheriff's department always uses a scale, I guarantee you.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break. I'll be right back with you. Now, I promise this will last 2 days. Don't discuss the case.
I'm trying to calm down.
It's been turned over.
We had, no one is saying anything's not turned over. No one was accusing anyone of any type of, I don't want to use the word, discovery violation. But it has been handled, we addressed it, I know how to address it with this witness. She didn't do it anyway, so it would have been fine. I think my question was going to stop because she didn't put it on there. The sheriff's office would have done it, so I'm going to come through this witness. I mean, she's exactly right. She didn't do it, and that's where we're going to stop anyway, the inquiry. She wouldn't put the picture on there.
Oh, there really no pictures from the surgery?
No, they have some. Yeah, no, they have some. You just read it.
Okay.
It's an issue.
Can we approach them?
Yeah, I'm a little concerned that it's standard practice. And what she testified to is, I don't think the sheriff's department coroner's office did. And she's asking, that should have been done. It hasn't been done. It has been done. It's been turned over, and we've called out all of these pictures because I thought we were all in agreement that a couple pictures of his leg and 2 pictures, we were limited to 2 pictures of his fatal wound, which we agreed to, and now we're kind of being punished for that. So, I mean, it's a little, I don't,
There's no attempt to punish at all. I'm still in the middle of the direct of this witness. It is not, and they have a right to recross, and it is not handled properly. I think the court can address it.
okay, we just, we don't have to print up this picture now and introduce it.
But she didn't take it anyway.
She's gonna, it does exist though, we don't know. So it's just, I don't like the implication.
Why don't we let him finish his cross-examination, see where that goes. If it is rectified during the cross-examination, we'll be fine. If not, maybe we will discuss something curative for me.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think she did a good job of correcting it right there, and I think that's where we were going, but I'll make it up a little more clear. She's smarter than me.
It's all good.
Right in there, so I think we're fine.
You told me I could correct you.
And you corrected the heck out of me,
It's
so
all
I think
good.
that's where we were going.
It's court.
Just for the record, Your Honor, all of this information was turned over to current counsel, at least a portion of current counsel on what they, January 30th, 2025. They do have that information.
All right. Well, let's give the jury about 5 more minutes. I'm sure someone went to the restroom and stuff like that. So, anybody needs the opportunity to do that real quick, go ahead.
It's back there by you. I gave her the picture. Okay, thank you.
You don't think I do? You are not writing on me. It is not. I feel very comfortable. You'll never also hear me say this thing, it's an old shirt. You'll not hear that. That's yes.
Mr. Dalton, bring him in, please, sir.
Quick moment, Chairman. Do we need to do a curative to show that this information was sent to the defense January 30th, 2025?
Let's see how the cross goes.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, bring him on in.
Judge President, Your Honor.
Go ahead, Mr. Campbell.
Thank you so much. And Dr. Durso, I want to make sure I understand completely, and I think as we talked about, if I say something incorrect, you have every right to correct me. But I want to make sure I'm clear. You don't take the pictures, and I think that's where my confusion was. You don't take the
Right,
pictures.
I don't take the photos. I'm honestly gloved up in full PPE the whole time. So the coroner's office has a representative that takes photos. And in this case, I believe it was the sheriff's department
Yes, ma'am.
sent one of their crime scene investigators to take photos. And they always take pictures with and without scale of the wounds.
And you understand why that was a concern of a question that I had to make sure who actually took the pictures, and that's why I'm glad you can explain that.
Right, I'm happy to
And
correct you.
No problem. And I want to give you a chance to make sure to clarify. Is there anything wrong with someone different taking the pictures other than you? That way you can clarify to the jury. Because
No, there's no problem, and that's very typical, because I've worked in medical examiners' offices in North Carolina during training, and it's always someone else that's usually taking the photo. It's very infrequent in my experience
Yes, ma'am.
that the actual pathologist has the camera, because once again, we're in full gear doing the work, and that way we can just call someone over and say, take a picture of this.
And to make sure, so I don't look like I just tried to beat you up with a bunch of papers, I asked you the question about those forensic standards. You can understand it says something different. Do you want to explain why that's not at issue in this situation? Because, of course, I read the forensic standards to the court.
Right, so it actually says the forensic pathologist or pathologist in training shall, and it literally says photograph injuries. So it literally does say that, which I think that's something probably names should correct, because I don't know any forensic pathologists that take the photos.
So you can understand where my confusion comes from, that it says that you should, and I'm not blaming you, not blaming the solicitor's office, but you understand when I read the standards, it says that you should, but you're like, nobody does that.
Correct.
Okay. I want to talk about, and again, if I use words or say things incorrectly, please talk to me, because one of the things we have to figure out is the laterality of the bullet as it enters into the body. That's something important. Would you?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of your report in front of you?
I do.
Is that something that we measured to figure out inside the body, the laterality of the movement of the bullet when it went inside of the body?
So there's no exit wound. So typically there's an exit wound that's pretty easy to measure, but it's inside the body. So I described it. We took lots of photos, and I actually put a trajectory rod through his body to show the trajectory. That's our standard of what we do.
And you understand why I asked the question, because that could be something important, the laterality of the bullet going into the body, especially when we're talking about a right to left path.
Correct, and that's why I described where it was located and why I put the trajectory rod through the body. But of course, the body at that point has been opened, because again, it's not a through and through, so it's not a picture that most people would be okay seeing.
Yes, ma'am. And of course, that's one of the questions that, when I brought up at the beginning, utilizing, I want to make sure I say this correctly, utilizing words like slightly, when we then talk about we don't have a measurement of the laterality of how the bullet moves in the body, that would be something we'd have trouble determining how right to left something is actually moving. Do you understand why I had that concern?
Yeah, and that's why we have the pictures with the trajectory rods and all of the descriptors.
And how are the pictures of those trajectory rods? Are they taken from the angles, or are they just taken straight on?
They're supposed to walk around the body and take them from multiple angles.
And if it's not done, is that an issue?
It's not ideal.
Okay, just asking. Well, is it not ideal because we can't tell how right to left something is?
Well, I know how right to left, but for someone reviewing, like you said, I just like to be thorough.
The solicitor was asking you questions again about the right to left movement of the path. Now, when I was doing my studies, it says something, and again, this is where you correct me because you're smarter than me. When a bullet is moving like 3 to 4 inches, almost equates to like 30 to 40% turn to the torso. Do you understand what I'm saying? When the bullet inside of the body, okay, you know where I'm going, so I'll let you explain.
There's all sorts of theories about measuring angles and degrees, but the problem is there's so many variables.
Right.
And so, is the body twisted, or is the person just standing to the right of them? There's a lot of different variables. So there's not, unless you were physically there at the scene.
And that's what I wanted, and I'm glad you
and
said
know exactly where everyone is standing. It's hard. I can tell you whether something's consistent with the pattern and the angle, but I can't say, well, this person had to be standing here, because I don't know exactly what angle even the victim's body was at. Nobody can unless you were there.
And that's why, going back, while we talk about we do the body in an anatomical position, and then you just talk about possibilities and not possibility, and the sad part is a lot of things are possible.
Correct.
And so when we say this is, it's almost rare to say something impossible, because we don't know because you're not there.
Correct. I can say if it's consistent or not. Clearly, he was not shot from the front, he was shot from the back. So
Correct.
there are certain things we can say.
And when we talk about the slightly right to left, there's a degree, the solicitor said, couldn't have done that, which we understand. But there can be a slight turn, correct?
Correct.
Like there can be a slight turn this much.
True.
Okay.
If the shooter's directly behind.
If the shooter's directly behind, and we're going to do that thing, but you are not going to draw on me.
Come on. I'm good at it now.
Let's grab a couple of bodies. Would you come up here and show me again? Because I want to make sure I understand. I'm going to have you come on down again. And just so you don't take the chance, I'm going to take Kenny Rogers, if he'll come over here and we'll utilize him. So what I want to talk about, so if we turn the body this way, and this is where we're going to be this individual.
Okay.
This is going to be the individual who had passed.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the solicitor asked you if this was possible, and you said no.
Correct.
But this is possible.
Slightly, yes.
So that's possible.
Yes.
So a human could be turning this way, and that's possible.
Yes, slightly to the right. Maybe not quite that much. I mean, that's assuming, like, if I'm to the right of you, that
Yeah.
changes, but directly behind, as it goes just right to just left.
Okay, so
I would say more than about there. If I'm directly in.
If you're directly behind.
Yes.
So that's possible.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, you can go back. See, you didn't get the draw on me. And they've introduced x-rays. Again, I'm not brilliant. One of the things that we always have to make sure of is the x-rays and so forth. Just shows where the bullet comes to rest. It doesn't show us the bullet is trampling or anything like that when it's in the human body.
Right, and because of that impact on the inside of his rib cage, I could tell that it didn't come to rest exactly at the direct angle, because, bullets don't turn, they go straight. And then it got, again, snagged on the soft tissue around the heart, and it kind of yanked it back down.
And so I think the phrase I use, a bullet can trampling back, is that a proper phrase that I just used?
That's a word, yeah, you can
Okay.
use that.
Look at me, look at words, look like I know stuff. And again, I want to apologize completely if I have misconstrued anything you have testified to, and I have not challenged your expertise whatsoever.
I understand.
So please apologize if it seems like I have done anything to do that. Have I given you opportunity to answer all the questions that I have?
Yes.
And do you feel as though you've gotten perfect opportunity to respond properly to everything that I have asked?
Yes.
Have you given opportunity to see? You don't believe that I've tried to trick you in any way whatsoever, do you?
No.
And you would agree with your testimony that we've talked about, there are different possibilities that could have happened and you are not there.
Absolutely.
And one of the things the solicitor talked to you about, if the two individuals are on flat ground, that takes a situation that you don't know,
Correct.
because you're not there.
Correct.
And so if somebody's on a flat ground or raised ground or something like that, all of that changes our equations.
Correct. There are several variables, as long as that angle stays true, that you
As
can
long as
move
the angle
both
stays
the shooter, the shootee, and everyone else around. So.
And so the best way to do it is take the science that you have offered and put it with witnesses, evidence, and so forth, and let them decide what happened. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Oh, I've been told I've been told I have another question.
Okay.
I am done. I apologize. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you being here.
Anything on redirect?
There you go.
All right, doctor, you can step down. Thank you for being here. Good to see you again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let her get down. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to adjourn for today. Same rules apply. Don't discuss the case with anyone or amongst yourselves. Don't do any research or anything like that overnight. And we will get started tomorrow morning at 9:30. Y'all have a good evening. Oh, yeah, stop, just a second. Any more witnesses from the state?
We're not for today, Your Honor.
Oh, so you're, okay. Sorry about that. Now you're excused. Yeah, we're still on record.
Your Honor, directly I talked to Mr. Scott. I can assure you there was nothing that we were attempting to do to say that the state of South Carolina has hidden any evidence. They've given us everything we have. I just wanted to make sure that that was not our intention
So
whatsoever.
I think that's clear.
Didn't want to today, but I fully expect us to go ahead and rest in the morning, if that's okay. Your Honor.
Okay.
We just don't talk.
I was thinking you might rest now, and then we can go ahead and dispense with DVD.
Okay, well, if you want, let me talk to them.
Well, it needs to be done in front of the jury, I think, so they're gone. So you can do it, man. That's fine.
Sure, I'm sorry. I didn't think about that.
And just, not to beat a dead horse, Your Honor, but I just want to make sure the record is clear that, that information that was questioned about the scale and the gunshot wound, it was initially sent to defense counsel January 30th, 2025, and it was sent a second time through evidence.com on March 3rd, 2025. So it has all been, released to them. They've had it for over a year. So just want to make sure.
I've never said
Your
not.
Honor, the problem was we received it, it came as a crime scene photographs. And we, of course, are looking at what Mr. Kent was questioning on, which suggests that the pathologist shall, so when we didn't get it in the pathologist report, you know, it just wasn't there. So that was our mistake. No party foul from the solicitor.
No,
And we now have them.
I think it was covered. I think he got cleaned up on it.
Thank
Your Honor,
you. I just don't want this narrative of, just going back to yesterday with nefarious intents, that narrative that, solicitors' offices or the Fifth Circuit solicitor's office is holding anything away or hiding and, playing fast and loose. That is not true. It's been sent at least twice. And I just need that to be clear on the record that they have everything that we have and they've had it for a period of time, and we've shared it with multiple lawyers throughout this case. Because Mr. Chow has been represented by some version of this team twice, and also the Shealy law firm, and each of them has received this information.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's clear. I think they made it clear on the record they have it.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, one last thing. During the questioning of Devontae Brian,
Right.
there were two videos used to refresh him. These are not in evidence, Your Honor. I kind of feel as though they should be offered as a court exhibit only because they were shown to the witness during the proffer, during his refreshing opportunity. They were not presented, not seen by the jury. I'm just not absolutely clear, so I tend to err on the side of caution. Would you?
Yeah, I think it's fine to make them part of the record unless they got some kind of objection to making it. There'll be two videos, there'll be one court.
There it is. And the court's exhibit, I guess. Thank you.
No problem.
I just think I have one more thing there, and Madam Court Reporter, correct me. On the testimony to the last witness, Ty. Right. Yes, sir, Your Honor. I attempted to put in.
Jordan. Devontae Ryan, sorry.
I attempted to put in a video. We reread your email. It said we had to lay a proper foundation, so I think it was at that point in time it was not admissible, but I still want to mark this for identification at this point in time.
Or you can mark it as a court.
As a court exhibit?
Yep.
Thank you, I just want to make sure we have that marked.
That was the full Instagram post.
That was the full post, yes, Your Honor. We have one clip from the full post, and I think the court position we have not made a proper foundation as of yet, or it did not admissible.
I think I just made a determination that the post was not coming in. I would permit a screenshot of it.
And I respectfully, I do not remember that from the court's email, and so I just wanted to make sure. I thought the email was just very generic, that it was allowable, that it was relevant, that we laid the proper foundation. And so
I think during the hearing, I determined the boss was going to allow me a screenshot.
I just want to make sure I don't run afoul of the court's ruling. Are we allowed to lay a foundation to get in the video now, or are you saying we are not, and that's That's not what the
No, I'm
email
looking back at it
says.
now, yes. Assuming appropriate foundation.
Okay, and that's what I was understanding. We still have to lay the appropriate foundation to get the rest of that video in. Yes, Your Honor, I understand that. Thank you, sir.
All right, anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. Cool. Y'all have a good evening.